A little girl presses the keys, not perfect, not trained, but it stops the room. And in the back corner, a man in an expensive coat goes completely still, because he knows that song, and that song was never supposed to survive. Snow falls over Chicago like the city's trying to forgive itself for a minute. Streetlights glow through the flakes, cars hiss over slush. People hurry past with scarves pulled up to their eyes. But inside Marlowe and Bean, a small brick cafe tucked into Wicker Park, everything feels warm, golden, safe. The place has mismatched chairs, a chalkboard menu with crooked handwriting. A little community corkboard by the register with flyers for open mics, lost cats, and some half-torn poster that says Subterranean Friday Night. Indie music hums low from a speaker in the corner. A Christmas tree lines slightly, like it gave up on being straight weeks ago. It's decorated with handmade ornaments and a star that's seen better days. Not crowded. A couple sharing one muffin like it's romantic. A guy reading by the window like he's starring in his own film. A mom with two kids stirring cocoa until it's basically marshmallow soup. Then the bell over the door jingles, and in walks Ethan Cross. He looks like money. Like he belongs in a boardroom, not a cafe that smells like cinnamon and burnt espresso. Tall, clean-cut, dark coat, nice scarf. The kind of guy people glance at and immediately assume he's not here for the same reasons they are. But his eyes look exhausted, like he's been smiling on command for hours and it finally ran out. 10 minutes ago, Ethan was downtown at a corporate Christmas gala. Champagne, chandelier lighting. Handshakes that feel like business deals. Conversations that sound like people pitching themselves. He slipped out early because the whole thing made him feel empty in a way he couldn't explain, so now he's here. He steps up to the counter, keeps his voice low. "Black coffee, please." The barista nods, unfazed, like she's served 100 men who look like Ethan and none of them matter. Ethan takes the cup, moves to the back corner and sits with his shoulders tight, hands folded, jaw clenched, staring out at the snow like it might fix something in him. For a moment, it's just normal cafe noise, mugs clinking. Someone laughing softly, a milk steamer hissing like a tiny train. Then a piano, not the speakers, not background music, real keys, real notes, slightly out of tune, like the piano's been loved more than it's been maintained. Ethan turns his head. Near the Christmas tree, pushed into the corner like a cozy decoration, sits a small upright piano, and on the bench sits a little girl, 6-ish, curly dark hair tied back with a red ribbon. A green sweater that's a little too big, feet swinging above the floor like she's floating, her fingers hover, then she starts playing. At first it's careful, like she's searching for the path, but then the melody clicks into place. And Ethan's whole body locks up, because that song, that Snowlight, his stomach drops so hard it feels like he missed a step on the stairs. His coffee wobbles in his hand, a little splash hits the lid, he doesn't even notice. Because Snowlight isn't something you hear in public, it isn't a Christmas song, it isn't a famous tune. It was one private piece of music, written a lifetime ago by one person, a girl named Lena Hart. A girl Ethan loved when he was 17. A girl who wrote that song for him and said, "Don't let it disappear." And then she disappeared. No goodbye, no warning, no anything, just silence, and it changed him. Ethan stares at the little girl like she's playing a ghost into the room. He doesn't mean to stand, but his chair scrapes back anyway. The sound is sharp, loud in his own ears. A couple people glance over. Ethan doesn't care. He takes a step, then another, like he's being pulled. Real quick, if you've ever had someone from your past pop back up and mess with your whole heart, hit like and subscribe. Because this isn't just a cute cafe moment. This is where everything starts cracking open. The little girl finishes the last note. A few people clap gently, not a big deal, just sweet applause for a kid being brave. The girl smiles like she's proud of herself, like she should be. Ethan crouches beside the piano, slow and careful, like he's scared he's wrong, like he's scared if he says the wrong thing, the whole moment will vanish. "Hey," he says softly, "that was really good." The girl's face brightens. "Thank you," Ethan swallows. Where did you hear that song?" She tilts her head like that's the easiest question in the world. "From my mom." Ethan's throat tightens. "Your mom taught you that?" "Uh-huh." The girl nods. "She wrote it and she told me not to forget it." Ethan's breath catches. He forces his voice to work. "What's your name?" She sits up straighter, serious now. "Maya, but everybody calls me May 'cause my mom says I'm small but loud." She grins. "And I'm 6.5. Ethan almost laughs. It comes out more like a shaky exhale. "That's very official." May nods like a tiny attorney. "Yup." Ethan looks at her closer, dimples, big expressive eyes, a fearless little stare. Something about her hits him in a way he can't name. Then a voice calls from behind the counter, warm, tired, familiar in the worst way. May, sweetheart, coat time, we're closing soon. Ethan freezes because that voice. He could pick it out of any crowd. He turns, he freezes again, because there she is, Lena Hart, older, real, not the girl from his memory, someone stronger, sharper around the edges. Hair pulled back in a messy ponytail, a faded sweater. A little flower and cocoa on her sleeve like she's been living her life with both hands busy. She looks up and their eyes meet, and the air changes, like the whole cafe senses something it can't explain. Lena doesn't smile. She doesn't gasp, she just stares at him like he's a ghost with nerve. Finally, she speaks, low and steady. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Ethan stands there with 1,000 words in his chest and none of them coming out right. He manages one. Lena, she steps closer, careful, guarded. Ethan, May hops down and runs to Lena, grabbing her hand like it's home base. Mom, I played the snow song. I heard you, baby. Lena brushes May's hair back, soft for her, controlled for him. You did great. May turns to Ethan with a bright, messy grin. Do you like it? She asks. Ethan's voice cracks just a little. Yeah, I love it. May smiles like that confirmed something for her. Then she leans in like she's sharing the wildest secret in the world, and she says, flat, certain, not a question, you're Ethan. Ethan blinks because he never said his name. Lena didn't say his name. Nobody introduced him. May squeezes Lena's hand and adds, casual as breathing, my mom said if you ever showed up again, everything would break open. Lena's eyes snap to May. May, she says, sharp, but it's too late. Ethan's staring at Lena now like the floor just shifted under him, and Lena's face, it cracks, just for a second, like she's scared of what her daughter just revealed, like she knows what's coming next. If that just gave you chills, hit subscribe, because next part is where Ethan starts digging. And May is about to say one sentence that makes Ethan realize this isn't just a song, it's a secret. The next morning, Ethan crossed stairs at the ceiling of his penthouse. It doesn't feel like a home, it feels like a place people pass through. The city is awake below him, snowplows, horns, morning noise, but his head is still in that cafe. A little girl, a worn-out piano, and a song that should have stayed buried. The way she said his name like she already knew it. Ethan rolls out of bed and stands at the window, hands in his hoodie pocket. He tries to do what he always does. Solve it, control it, make it make sense, but this isn't business, this is personal and it's messy. He exhales once slow. All right, he mutters. One step. That afternoon, he drives back to Wicker Park. No driver, no security. No suit, just a dark hoodie, jeans, and a baseball cap like he thinks it'll turn him into a normal guy. It won't. He parks across the street from Marlowe and Bean and just sits there for a second, watching the warm glow through the fogged glass. Outside, everything's cold. Inside, it looks like a different world. He crosses the street, boots crunching through slush, and pushes the door open. The bell jingles, same sound as last night, different kind of fear. The cafe is busier in daylight, 2 college kids fighting over one outlet, a guy typing like his laptop owes him money, a woman on the phone saying, no, I'm not mad, okay, I'm mad. Ethan slips toward the back, but he doesn't make it far. Because May sees him first, her eyes go wide, then she grins like she just caught Santa sneaking cookies. It's you, she blurts, loud enough that a couple heads turn. The sad guy from last night. Ethan stops in his tracks. His face warms, he points at himself. Me. May marches over like she owns the building. Yeah, you, she says, piano guy. Ethan lets out a short laugh. I'm just here for Coco. May squints like a tiny detective. Adults always say that when they're lying. My mom does that too. Ethan's smile flickers then softens. Okay, he admits, I'm here because I heard your song. May's grin returns, proud. Yeah, you did. She grabs his sleeve, not hard, just like she's leading him to his seat on an airplane, and drags him toward the piano corner. You can sit there, she says, pointing to the chair by the Christmas tree. That's your spot now. Ethan glances at the chair, then at her. Is it? May shrugs. You looked like you needed one. That lands harder than it should. Ethan sits. May climbs back onto the bench, and for a second she just studies him. Like she's trying to decide what kind of grown-up he is. Then she says very simply, you got family? Ethan blinks. Not really. May nods once, satisfied, then points at his Coco-less hands. Well, you should get Coco. It's cold and you look like you forget to eat. Ethan opens his mouth to respond. May. Lena's voice. Ethan turns. Lena is behind the counter, wiping her hands on a towel. She looks up and sees him. A flicker of surprise. Then the walls come back up. Her eyes narrow slightly, not angry, more like, don't start. Ethan keeps his voice gentle. Hi. Lena holds his gaze for a beat too long, then she nods once. Hi. May turns to Lena like she's reporting big news. He came back. Lena's eyes flick to Ethan, then away. Go sit, she tells May, soft but firm, and don't boss customers. May gasps like she's offended. I'm not bossing, she says, I'm helping. Lena points a finger. Sit. May hops off the bench and plops onto the floor, dramatic. Ethan steps to the counter, careful, like he's walking up on a skittish animal. I didn't want to make it weird. Lena gives a quick, humorless laugh. It's already weird, she says. Order or don't. Ethan nods. Hot cocoa, he says. Extra marshmallows. May's head snaps up. Ooh, she says loudly. He's a marshmallow person. Ethan lifts both hands. I'm not proud. A couple people chuckle. The cafe vibe stays light, but at the counter it's tight. Lena slides the cocoa to him. Their fingers don't touch. But they get close enough that Ethan feels the heat of it. Lena leans forward just slightly, voice low. Why are you here, Ethan? Ethan's answer is honest. Because she played a song only you and I should know. Lena's jaw tightens. You don't know what you're talking about. I do, Ethan says, and May, don't. Lena cuts in. Quick, don't pull her into this. Ethan nods immediately. I'm not trying to, he says, I swear. I didn't know you had a kid. Lena doesn't answer right away. Her eyes flick to May, who's now humming to herself while she scribbles something in her notebook, messy and focused. When Lena speaks, her voice is controlled. She's my whole life. Ethan's throat closes up like a door. I can see that. Lena's eyes sharpen. And that's why you don't get to pop in and out. Ethan flinches, just barely. That's fair, he says. So tell me the rules. Lena blinks like she didn't expect him to say that. The rules, she repeats. Ethan keeps his tone steady. If you want me gone, say it. If you're okay with me sitting in the corner, staying quiet, I can do that too. Lena stares at him. Then she exhales through her nose like she's forcing herself not to snap. The rules are simple, she says. Don't confuse her. Don't make promises you can't keep. She pauses, then her eyes lock on his, and don't act like you can undo it. That last line lands like a slap. Ethan swallows. I won't, he says. I'm not here to fix you. I'm here to understand, and if you let me, I'll earn being around. Lena doesn't soften, but something flickers, a crack. Then May calls out, proud, Mom, I'm done. Lena glances over. Done with what? My homework page, May says, waving it like a victory flag. Lena steps out, checks it, then nods. Okay, she says, 2 songs. May cheers and climbs onto the bench. She looks at Ethan like he's her official audience now. This one is easy, she says, and then I'll do Snowlight. Ethan's hands go numb around his cup. Lena's head snaps up. May, she warns. May frowns. What? Lena walks closer, calm but firm. We don't play that one for everyone, she says. Remember, May looks right at her mom, dead serious. But he's not everyone, she says, pointing at Ethan like it's obvious. He's him. Ethan feels the room tilt, not literally, but the air shifts, like that sentence just pulled a hidden thread. Lena's face goes pale for half a second, then she forces a smile that doesn't reach her eyes. Play the other one, she says quietly. May sighs, annoyed, and starts a simple song. A few notes in, she blurts without looking up, Mom, are you gonna tell him about the letter? Ethan's head lifts. The letter, he repeats low. May nods, still playing like she didn't just drop a bomb. The one in the little tin, she says, the one you told me not to touch. Lena's voice turns sharp. May, enough. May stops playing, blinks, then shrugs like my bad. But Ethan is already staring at Lena. Lena, he says, quiet. What tin? Lena doesn't answer. Her eyes flick just once toward the back room door behind the counter. Ethan follows her gaze. Then the bell over the cafe door jingles again. A man steps in. Late 30s, sharp coat. Smile that's friendly on the surface and cold underneath. He scans the room, locks eyes with Ethan, and smirks like he just found something valuable. Ethan Cross, he says loud. There you are. Ethan's jaw tightens because he knows him. Vince Kellen, one of his top executives, and Vince doesn't show up unless there's leverage. Vince's eyes drift past Ethan, straight to Lena behind the counter, then to May at the piano. His smile sharpens. Well, Vince says, almost amused, this is cute. Lena stiffens. May stares at him, suspicious. Ethan's voice goes cold. Vince, he says, what are you doing here? Vince raises both hands like he's harmless. Easy, he says. I'm off the clock. Then he pulls out his phone. I'm here because somebody sent me a video. Ethan's heartbeat thumps once heavy. A video of what? He asks. Vince tilts the screen, and Lena's face drains. Because on it is May at the cafe piano, her little fingers pressing the keys, and the first notes of Snowlight playing out loud. Vince watches Lena like he's testing her reaction. Then he looks back at Ethan. That song, he says quietly. Where did she learn it? Ethan turns to Lena. Lena's lips part, no sound, because this isn't just awkward anymore. This is a threat walking in with proof, and Vince, still smiling, adds one last line, soft as poison. You should probably know videos like this don't stay private for long. If your heart just sank, hit subscribe, because next part is where the situation turns real. And Ethan is about to realize someone's been circling Lena and May for a while. Vince leaves the cafe like he owns the sidewalk, not rushing, not stressed, just strolling out into the snow like he didn't just drop a match into gasoline. The bell jingles behind him, and for a second the cafe is quiet in that weird way where everyone pretends they didn't hear something ugly. May sits on the piano bench, hands hovering over the keys. Lena stands behind the counter, frozen in place like her body's still deciding whether to run or fight. Ethan watches Vince's footprints disappear into slush. Then he turns back, his voice is low. "What the hell was that?" Lena doesn't answer right away. Her jaw tightens, her eyes harden. "That," she says finally, "is why you shouldn't be here." Ethan steps closer, careful. "Lena, I didn't bring him here." "I know," she snaps, then immediately lowers her voice because May is right there. "But people like him, they don't just show up. They show up when they smell something." Ethan's throat goes dry. "Like what?" Lena looks at May, then away. "Like leverage," she whispers. May swings her feet, trying to read the adults' faces. "Mom," she says softly, "is that man mean?" Lena forces a smile that looks like it hurts. "No, baby. He's just annoying," May nods. "I don't like his smile." Ethan almost laughs, but nothing's funny. Lena wipes the counter even though it's already clean. Her hands are shaking. Ethan keeps his voice steady. "What video?" he asks. "Who sent it?" Lena's eyes flash. "I don't know, could be anybody. People record everything now." Ethan stares at the piano. Snowlight, a private song. Now on someone's phone, now in Vince's hands. Ethan turns back to Lena. "You said there's a letter." Lena's eyes snap up. "Don't, Lena," Ethan says quietly. "I'm not here to hurt you." Lena laughs once, small and bitter. "You're not the one who hurt me the most," she says. "You're just the one who left the door open." Ethan flinches like she slapped him. May hops off the bench and walks up to Lena, tugging her sleeve. "Mom, I'm hungry." Lena instantly softens. "Okay," she says. "We'll go home soon." Ethan watches the way Lena's whole face changes when she looks at her kid. That's not just love, that's survival. He lowers his voice. "I'll go," he says, "if that's what you need. But if Vince is sniffing around, you shouldn't be alone in this." Lena meets his eyes. For a second the fear shows, then she covers it up. "We've been alone," she says. "We're fine." Ethan nods slowly, but his stomach twists. Because fine is what people say when they're one bad moment away from breaking. He takes one step back. "Okay," he says, "no pressure." He turns to May, gentle. "Hey, May." May looks up. "Yeah, you play really brave," Ethan says. "Don't stop." May smiles, proud again. "I won't, even if my fingers mess up." Ethan nods. "That's the secret, you keep going." He starts toward the door, and that's when May blurts, "Mom, he should come with us." Lena freezes. May shrugs. "Why not? He's nice, and he looks like he doesn't sleep." Ethan's heart tugs in a stupid way. Lena forces a calm voice. "Say goodbye." May sighs dramatically. "Bye, Ethan," she says. "Don't get kidnapped by the mean smile man." Ethan chuckles, despite himself. "I'll do my best." He leaves, but the moment he steps outside, the cold slaps him awake, and Vince's last words replay in his head. Videos like this don't stay private for long. That night, Ethan can't focus. He tries to read emails, tries to answer messages, tries to pretend he's still the guy who can bury feelings under deadlines. Doesn't work. So he does something he hasn't done in years. He goes into his office closet, pulls out an old hard drive he never threw away. One labeled in messy marker, LH. He plugs it in, and there it is. Audio files, voice memos. Half-written songs, pieces of Lena, pieces of him. Ethan clicks one. A younger Lena's voice fills his headphones, laughing. "You're gonna hate this part," she says, "but I'm keeping it." Then piano, Snowlight, not finished, but real. Ethan closes his eyes, and for the first time in a long time his throat burns. Across the city, Lena is pulling May's coat on. They walk home through the snow, shoulder to shoulder. May's talking a mile a minute about how Ethan drinks cocoa like a marshmallow person. Lena laughs a little, even though she's trying not to. But when they get inside their small apartment above a laundromat, the warmth hits them, and May's energy drops. She's quieter than usual. Lena notices immediately. "Hey," she says, brushing May's hair back. "You okay?" May shrugs. "I'm fine." Lena pauses. Kids don't say "I'm fine" unless they heard an adult say it first. She touches May's forehead and her hand jerks back. May is burning up. Lena's stomach twists. "Okay," she says, forcing calm. "Let's get you in pajamas." May moves slow now, like her body is heavy. By bedtime, the fever climbs. Lena gives her water, a cool washcloth, children's medicine. She keeps whispering, "I'm right here, I'm right here." But around midnight, May starts coughing, deep, tight, like her chest is working too hard, her breathing turns shallow. Her cheeks go pale, Lena sits up straight, fear punching through her ribs. May, she whispers, baby, look at me. May's eyes open halfway. Mom, I'm tired. Lena's hands tremble. No, no. Stay with me. She grabs her phone and starts calling clinics. Busy, closed, no appointments. The public hospital downtown has a wait list that sounds like a joke. A private urgent care answers, and the woman on the line says the number out loud. The admission fee alone is more than Lena's rent. Lena hangs up and stares at May, whose breathing is getting worse. Her pride screams, handle it. Her fear screams louder, she needs help. Lena's thumb moves on the screen without her fully deciding. She opens her contacts, and there it is, Ethan Cross. She hasn't deleted him. She never deleted him, she just never touched it. Her fingers hover, she types one word. Ethan then deletes it, then types again. May is sick. Her vision blurs. She hits send before she can talk herself out of it. Ethan is halfway through another old audio file when his phone lights up. He sees Lena's name, his heart stops. He opens the message, 2 sentences, no punctuation, just raw panic. May is sick, I can't get her in anywhere. Ethan doesn't think. He's on his feet, grabbing his coat, keys, wallet, out the door. No hesitation, no questions, because whatever rules Lena laid down in that cafe, this is different. This is a kid, and he's not gonna sit in a penthouse while a child struggles to breathe. When the knock hits Lena's door, she flinches like it's danger. She opens it and Ethan is there, hair messy, hoodie, coat half-zipped, eyes locked in. Where is she? He asks. Lena's lips part, no pride left to protect. In the bedroom, she whispers. Ethan steps inside. The apartment is small, warm, crowded with life. Kids' drawings on the fridge, a cheap keyboard in the corner, a little tin on the shelf. Ethan's eyes flick to it for half a second, but then he sees May. Curled up in bed, cheeks flushed, breathing tight, Ethan's face shifts. He moves fast but gentle, like he's handled something precious before. He crouches by the bed. Hey, May, he says softly, it's me. May cracks her eyes open. Piano guy, Ethan smiles, but it's strained. Yeah, piano guy. He looks at Lena. We're going now. Lena hesitates for one beat, just one, then she nods. Ethan scoops May into his arms like she weighs nothing. May whimpers, head falling against his shoulder. Lena grabs a blanket, wraps it around her, follows them out. The drive is a blur, snow, red lights, Ethan's hands tight on the wheel. Lena in the backseat holding May's hand, whispering prayers she didn't know she still believed in. They pull up to a private hospital. Lena's eyes widen. We can't. Ethan cuts her off, voice firm. Don't. Not right now. He carries May through the sliding doors. A nurse approaches, starts to ask questions. Ethan gives his name, and everything changes. They get taken back immediately. May is on oxygen within minutes. Doctors move fast. Lena stands by the bed, shaking, brushing May's curls back. Ethan stands beside her, silent, jaw tight. When the doctor steps out and starts explaining the infection, Lena's mind catches only one word, serious. Then the doctor mentions the cost. Lena's face collapses. I can't, she starts. Ethan doesn't let her finish. I've got it, he says calm, no conditions. Lena's eyes fill instantly. This isn't your responsibility. Ethan looks at May, then back at Lena. It is tonight, he says quietly, because she matters. Lena's breath breaks. She turns away, pressing her sleeve to her mouth, trying not to fall apart in front of her kid. But she does anyway, a little. Ethan doesn't touch her, he just stays close. Present, real, hours pass. May finally settles, breathing smoother. Lena sits in a hard plastic chair beside the bed, exhausted. Her head tips back against the wall, her eyes close. She's still holding May's hand. Ethan watches her. Then he takes off his coat and drapes it over Lena's shoulders, careful not to wake her. A nurse walks by, sees it, and pauses. She smiles softly like she's watching something rare. Ethan doesn't notice. His eyes are only on them. Lena and May, 2 people he didn't know he'd been missing until the moment they were in danger. And for the first time in 10 years, Ethan Cross isn't thinking about money, or control, or winning. He's thinking one thing, don't let this slip away again. Then his phone buzzes. He glances down. Unknown number. One text. Nice hospital. Hope she's okay. Ethan's jaw tightens so hard it aches, because he knows exactly who sent it. And when he looks up, Lena is awake, watching him. Her voice is barely a whisper. Who was that? Ethan swallows, and he finally says it. It's Vince, he whispers, and he knows where you are. Lena's face drains of color, because now it's not just about a fever, it's about being found. If you're feeling that panic right now, hit subscribe, because next part is where Ethan discovers why Vince is really targeting them and what secret Lena's been hiding in that little tin. The hospital hallway smells like sanitizer and burnt coffee. The lights are too bright, the chairs are too hard, and time moves funny when you're waiting on a kid to breathe right again. May is finally asleep, not the twitchy, feverish kind. The real kind, oxygen still on, small chest rising and falling steady. Lena sits beside the bed, Ethan's coat around her shoulders, eyes open but distant like her body's here, but her mind is still stuck on that moment May whispered, "Mom, I'm tired." Ethan stands by the window with his phone in his hand. That text is still there, nice hospital, hope she's okay. Lena doesn't look at the screen, she doesn't have to, her voice is low. So he's watching. Ethan nods once, slow. "Yeah," he says. "And I'm done being careful." Lena studies him like she's trying to see if this is real, or just another man saying the right thing because the moment is dramatic. "You don't know what you're stepping into," she whispers. Ethan's gaze stays steady. "I know exactly who it is," he says. "Vince." He steps a few feet away from the room into the hallway and makes a call. One ring, a voice answers, half asleep. "Ethan." "It's I need you awake," Ethan cuts in, calm and sharp. "Pull every internal access trail tied to Vince Kellen, submissions, marketing, PR, everything." The voice changes instantly. "What happened?" Ethan glances back at the room. "At May at Lena, something personal," he says, "and I want proof." He hangs up. Lena steps into the doorway behind him. "Proof," she repeats. Ethan turns, voice softer. "Receipts," he says. "So nobody spins this into a story later." Lena's eyes flick to his phone. "You really want to go at him?" she asks quietly. "Men like Vince, they don't lose clean." Ethan exhales once. "I'm not trying to win a fair fight," he says. "I'm trying to end it." Lena swallows. "If he leaks that video," she whispers. "If he puts May's face out there," Ethan doesn't hesitate. "Then I'll hit him where it hurts," he says. "On paper, in court, in public." Lena blinks, caught off guard by how solid that sounds. Then she looks away like she doesn't want to let herself believe it. Morning comes gray and slushy. May's fever breaks. The doctor says she'll be okay, but she needs monitoring and rest. Lena finally exhales like she's allowed to live again. May wakes up for a second, eyes barely open, voice scratchy. "Piano guy," she mumbles. Ethan steps closer. "Yeah," he says, "I'm right here." May squints like she's trying to remember something important. "Did the mean smile man come?" Lena stiffens. Ethan keeps his voice light. "Nope." "He stayed away." May nods, satisfied, then drifts back under. Lena watches Ethan for a long moment. "Why does she trust you?" Lena asks, like it annoys her and comforts her at the same time. Ethan's voice drops. "Kids can tell when you're faking," he says, "and I'm not." Lena doesn't answer. She just nods once tight, then quieter. "We should go home." Back at the apartment above the laundromat, the heater clicks on in loud bursts. May is tucked into bed with cartoons playing low. Lena moves through the kitchen like she's on autopilot, making toast she won't eat. Ethan stands near the doorway like he's trying not to take up space. His eyes land on it. A small shelf, a little tin, faded paint, a dent at the corner like it's been squeezed too hard too many times. Lena catches him staring, her shoulders tense. "Don't," she warns. Ethan raises his hand slightly. "I won't touch it," he says, "but May said there's a letter." Lena turns her back, voice clipped. "May says a lot of things." Ethan steps closer, careful. "I'm not trying to dig up your life," he says, "but Vince is in it now. Whether you want him there or not." Lena's breath catches. Ethan keeps going. "If there's something that protects you, I need to know." Silence. Then Lena lets out a small, tired laugh. "You want to know what's in that tin," she says. "It's proof I was stupid." Ethan's chest tightens. "Lena," she spins back, eyes sharp, shaking. "It's proof I wrote you," she says. "When everything fell apart, when my mom was dying, when I couldn't think straight." Ethan's face changes. "Because that's the first time she's ever said it like that, out loud, no armor. My mom got sick fast," Lena continues, words spilling now. "And I didn't tell you because I thought if I dragged you into it, I'd ruin your life too." Ethan's voice is rough. "You didn't get to decide that for me." Lena's eyes flash. "I was 19. That line lands like a door slam. Lena presses her fingers to her forehead. "I wrote you a letter," she says, then another, then another. "I kept waiting for the right moment." She points at the tin like it's radioactive. "And every time I picked it up, I thought, what if you're already gone? What if you look at me like I'm a burden?" Ethan steps closer, low and honest. "I looked for you," he says. "I was wrecked." Lena's mouth twists. "And you got famous," she says. "And I got life." Ethan's jaw flexes. "I didn't want famous," he says. "I wanted you." Lena's eyes shine with angry tears. "You always say the perfect thing," she whispers, "and it almost works." Then her phone buzzes on the counter, an email notification. Lena glances, her face empties. Ethan notices instantly. "What is it?" Lena opens it with trembling hands. It's from an old college friend. Subject, "Lena, I didn't know this was you." Attached, a forwarded chain. and inside it an old submission record, a demo file, 5 years ago. Lena's voice goes thin. No, Ethan steps closer. Lena stares at the screen like it's cursed. I sent a demo to your company, she says. Ethan's eyes narrow. What? I didn't use my name, she says, scrolling fast. I used initials. I didn't want favors. I didn't want you to ever know it was me. Ethan's throat tightens. Lena, I never. She stops scrolling. There it is, a rejection note. Cold, corporate, familiar, doesn't fit brand. Do not pursue. Lena turns the phone toward him, eyes burning. That was you, she says. That's your company. Ethan reads it and goes still, not shocked, focused, because he recognizes the internal template. And he knows exactly who could bury something like that without him ever seeing it. Ethan's phone buzzes, a message from the person he called earlier. Found it. Vince accessed the submission, flagged it, and routed it to auto-reject, time-stamped. Logged, Ethan turns the screen toward Lena. Lena reads it, her lips part, her anger stutters for the first time. Ethan's voice is quiet, but it cuts. He didn't just reject your music, Ethan says. He made sure I never heard it. Lena's eyes go glassy. Ethan grabs his coat. Lena blinks. What are you doing? Ethan's voice is flat, taking his hands off your life. An hour later, Ethan walks into a sleek glass office downtown. Vince is already there, seated like he expected the visit, coffee in hand, calm, smiling just a little. Ethan, Vince says, rough night. Ethan doesn't sit. He slides a compliance report across the desk, time-stamped, signed, undeniable. Then he drops his phone beside it, screen lit with the access trail. Vince glances down, doesn't flinch, just looks back up, mild as ever. You went digging, Vince says. Ethan leans in, voice low. You followed her, Ethan says. You held a kid's face on your phone like it was a weapon. Vince's smile fades by a millimeter. Relax, he says softly. I haven't posted anything. Ethan's eyes narrow. Why are you doing this? Ethan asks. Vince leans back, quiet. Because you're a brand now, he says, and brands don't survive surprises. Ethan's jaw tightens. Vince keeps his tone calm, almost friendly. Walk away, Vince says, and it stays private. He taps the phone with one finger. Don't, he adds, and the whole world meets your past. Ethan goes still. Vince tilts his head, studying him. You're not thinking straight, Vince says. You're emotional. Ethan's voice turns icy. You post that kid, Ethan says, and I promise you'll spend the rest of your life explaining yourself to lawyers. Vince's smile returns, small, controlled. You can try. Then Vince leans forward, voice lower. And Ethan, he says. Ask yourself why she kept that tin. Ethan doesn't react on the outside, but something in him tightens, because Vince isn't guessing, he's hinting. Ethan turns and walks out without another word. Back at the apartment, Lena opens the door slowly. Ethan steps in, eyes locked on the shelf. The tin, Lena's voice shakes. Ethan, Ethan's voice is quiet. Lena, he says, what's in the tin? Lena swallows hard. Her hands tremble as she reaches up and pulls it down. She opens it. Inside, folded letters, old photos, a hospital bracelet, a birth card. Ethan leans in. His eyes catch the date, and this time his stomach drops. He lifts his gaze to Lena, slow. Lena's voice is barely there. I didn't want you to know, she whispers. Ethan's throat tightens. Why? He asks. Lena's eyes glisten. Then she says it, broken and honest. Because I was scared you'd leave again the second you understood. From the back room, May's sleepy voice drifts out. Mom, is Ethan still here? Ethan stands frozen, staring at the date like it just rewrote his whole life. Because suddenly the song isn't the biggest secret anymore. Ethan can't stop staring at the date. It's like his brain refuses to accept it, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Lena's hands shake around the tin. Her knuckles are white. She looks like she's bracing for impact, like she's waited years for this moment and still isn't ready. Ethan's voice comes out low. Lena, he swallows. Is May? He can't finish the question. Lena's eyes fill fast. She shakes her head once like she's trying to shake the fear out of her chest. I didn't plan it, she whispers. I didn't trap you. I didn't even think you'd ever come back. Ethan lifts a hand, gentle. I'm not saying that, he says. I'm asking because I need the truth. From the back room, May's sleepy voice floats out. Mom, is Ethan still here? Lena wipes her face fast, forces her voice steady. Yeah, baby, she calls. He's still here, May hums, satisfied. The cartoon volume bumps up a notch. Silence returns, heavy. Ethan reaches into the tin carefully, like he's handling something alive. He pulls out a letter. His name is on it. Not Mr. Cross, not CEO, just Ethan. His hands tremble as he opens it. Lena's voice cracks. I wrote those when my mom was in the hospital, she says. I kept telling myself I'd send them when things calmed down. She lets out a small, bitter laugh. They didn't. Ethan reads the first lines and his throat tightens. It's Lena, raw, young, terrified. Not the guarded woman behind a cafe counter. And suddenly his anger about her disappearing has nowhere to go, because this wasn't her being careless, this was her drowning. He looks up. Why didn't you tell me? He asks, voice rough. Even later, even once, Lena's shoulders rise and fall. Because you were building a life, she whispers, and I was barely holding mine together. Ethan shakes his head slowly. That wasn't your choice to make, he says, softer now. Not accusing, just hurt. Lena nods. I know, she whispers, and I've paid for it. Ethan glances toward the back room, toward May, then back to Lena. And she doesn't know, he asks. Lena flinches. She knows you as piano guy, Lena says. She knows you as the guy who showed up when she couldn't breathe. Her eyes glisten. She doesn't know what you might be. Ethan's chest tightens. Might, he repeats. Lena's voice drops. I never did a test, she admits. I was scared, I was broke, I was angry, and I told myself you were gone anyway. Ethan stands there, blinking. The heater clicks on loud like it's trying to interrupt the moment. Ethan nods once. Okay, he says quietly, then we do this the right way. No rushing, no dumping it on her like a bomb. Lena looks at him, searching for the catch. And what if, she starts, voice shaking, what if it is you? What then? Ethan answers without hesitation. Then I'm here, he says, for real, not visiting, not in and out, here. Lena swallows, eyes wet. And if it isn't, she whispers. Ethan's gaze stays steady. Then I'm still here, he says. Because she matters and you matter. Lena stares at him like she can't decide if she should believe it. Then her phone buzzes, both of them freeze. Lena looks down. Unknown number, a single text, cute family moment. Would be a shame if the internet saw it. Lena's breath catches. Ethan steps closer, reads it, and his face hardens. That's Vince, he says. Lena's voice is tight. He won't stop. Ethan takes the phone from her gently. He will, Ethan says. Not tonight, not quick, but he will. That afternoon, Ethan doesn't just make calls, he makes moves, he meets legal, compliance, security. By nightfall, Vince's badge is dead, his access is locked. His email is wiped, a formal investigation is opened, and this time it doesn't feel like a movie. Security is pulling badge footage, compliance is preserving everything, and Ethan's attorneys are already filing the police report. Ethan sits in a conference room, hands flat on the table, eyes calm in a scary way. Vince walks in late like he's not worried. He sees the lawyers, the folders, the compliance lead, and for the first time his smile doesn't fully load. Ethan speaks first. You used internal systems to bury submissions, Ethan says. You followed a private citizen, and you threatened a kid. Vince lets out a thin laugh. You're making it sound worse than it is. Ethan slides a page across the table. Termination paperwork, then another, a restraining order filing. Then his phone, screen lit with the audit trail, timestamps, access logs, saved footage. Text evidence. Ethan leans in, voice flat. You wanted attention, he says. Now you're going to get it under oath. Vince's eyes flicker. He tries to recover, voice low. You do this, Vince says, and reporters will show up at your door by morning. Ethan nods once. Let them come, he says. I'm not protecting you anymore. Vince stares at him, and the truth settles in. He lost control. And a man like Vince doesn't know what to do without it. Ethan's voice stays calm. You contact Lena or May again, Ethan says, and you'll spend the next year explaining yourself in court. Vince's jaw tightens, but he says nothing. Because there's nothing left to threaten with, not anymore. 2 weeks later, Marlo and Bean is dressed up for a winter benefit night. String lights glow soft along the brick walls. A banner hangs above the counter. The SNOWLIGHT Fund, music lessons for kids who can't afford them. Lena didn't want her name on anything. Ethan insisted on something that felt like a promise, not a spotlight. May's in a little red dress, bouncing backstage with nervous energy. Her hands keep rubbing together. I'm not scared, she says. I'm just jumpy. Lena kneels in front of her, smoothing her curls. You don't have to play if you don't want to, Lena whispers. May shakes her head hard. I do, she says. I want people to hear it. It's your song. Lena's throat tightens. Ethan stands off to the side, not in a suit, just a plain sweater. He looks normal, but his eyes are locked on May like she's the most important thing in the city. The crowd is bigger than Lena expected. Neighborhood folks, musicians. A few local reporters, nothing messy, nothing predatory, just people who showed up because they heard something real was happening. The lights dim. May walks out, little shoes tapping on wood. She climbs onto the bench, adjusting the sheet music with tiny, serious hands. She looks out at the crowd, then she speaks into the mic. My name is May, she says clearly. My mom wrote this song when she was young, a few soft awes. May continues, voice steady. She wrote it for somebody. Lena freezes in the wings. Ethan's breath catches. May looks toward Lena first, then toward Ethan. And I think, May says, pausing like she's choosing the words, I think she's writing it again, like right now. The room goes still, the kind of stillness you only get when something is true. Lena covers her mouth, Ethan's eyes shine. May turns to the piano, her fingers press the keys, and snowlight fills the cafe, not perfect, but it stops the room. The melody drifts through the air like warm breath in winter. May plays like she's not trying to impress anybody. She's just telling the truth with her hands. Lena watches, tears sliding down her cheeks. Ethan watches too, but his gaze keeps flicking to Lena like the song is stitching something back together. May reaches the last bar. Her fingers hesitate, then she finishes strong. The final note lands and the cafe erupts. Applause, cheers, people standing. May hops off the bench, face flushed, and runs to Lena. Lena catches her, hugging her tight. You did so good, Lena whispers into her hair. So good. May squeezes her back, then peeks over Lena's shoulder at Ethan. She waves like she's including him. Lena meets Ethan's eyes across the room. No words. Just a look that says, we can't undo it, but we can choose what happens next. Later, after most people leave, Ethan finds Lena at the counter, sipping lukewarm cocoa. The cafe is quiet again, just them. Ethan slides a folder across. Lena eyes it like it might bite. What is that? She asks. Ethan's voice is calm. A program, he says. Lessons, scholarships, instruments for kids who don't get a fair shot. Lena flips it open. Program director, her name. She looks up fast. Ethan, he shakes his head. This isn't a favor, he says. This is you getting what you earned. Lena closes the folder slowly. And what about May? She asks softly. What about the truth? Ethan nods. We do it the right way, he says. When she's ready, with a counselor who knows how to do this the right way. Lena studies him, then quieter. And if she asks you why you're here, Ethan's voice softens. I'll tell her the truth, he says, that I heard her play a song and it brought me back to the people I never stopped caring about. Lena takes a shaky breath. For the first time, she doesn't pull away when Ethan reaches across the counter. He takes her hand gently, like he's asking, not taking. Lena squeezes once, a yes, without words. From the back room, May's voice pops out, sleepy and blunt. Mom, are you crying? Again. Lena laughs through tears. Ethan laughs too real, warm, and May adds, half yawning, good. 'Cause I like it. Ethan's chest fills in a way he forgot was possible, not because life is perfect, but because he stayed, and the music did too. If this story hit you in the heart, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a second chance right now. And tell me in the comments, should Ethan tell May the truth soon, or wait until she asks?